Claudia?
I got 2 cheeseburgers.
Wait, you got a cheeseburger.
No, I only got 1 cheeseburger.
You got a cheeseburger. You only got 1 cheeseburger. This one's yours.
I thought I got 2 cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Look at Allison over here. This is all Allison.
This is all.
This is my sad. I'm trying to be healthy burger.
Cheeseburgers.
Oh no.
Wait, okay.
Oh.
There's an onion. Oh no, that's lettuce. Okay, we're good.
All right.
Welcome to Political Potluck.
I'm Allison. I'm Julia.
And I'm Claudia, and we're just a bunch of high school students who want to talk about politics and the government.
While eating food.
So yeah.
So what are we talking about today, guys?
We're talking about the midterm election
And how to prepare for them, because voting is important and it's your civic duty to do it.
and why it's important.
Yeah.
Isn't that like Tuesday, like November 6th, like 2018?
So it's like
the shift in polls?
3 days away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2-3 days. I don't know.
So here's some last minute information on what you can do to prepare before you head into your polling place, just so you can get through the lines faster.
All right. Do you want to start off by explaining what a midterm election is? first
Yes.
of all?
Okay. Sorry, I've ketchup on my hands. So the midterms, if you didn't know, those happen every 2 years, and they take place between the presidential elections, and they're different from state or local races. So it like depends. All the elections are different, and they vary between states or your city, I guess. Yeah.
Like your district.
Your district. That's it. That's the words. Do you want me to keep going?
I can do it.
Okay.
They're also called congressional elections because what happens is all 435 seats in the House of Representatives goes up for
Re-election.
re-election. I was gonna say, I don't know what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
But anyway, so all of them go up for re-election, and this is like super important because then it decides which party is going to be in charge of the Chamber of Congress for the next 2 years. Also, a third of all the U.S. senators go up for re-election. So,
Yeah. So right now, this is kind of a big deal, I guess, because the Republicans currently hold both the House, the Senate, and the executive branch. At this next elections, though, it's predicted that the Democrats are going to take at least the Senate and possibly the House. So that's why it's kind of a bigger election because of our current political climate. So more people should feel inclined to vote during the midterms. So currently the Senate, the Democrats need 3 seats to take the majority, and in the House, I believe it's either 23 or 26. I think it's 23. Yeah. So reasons to vote.
should totally go.
Yeah. I have more on my phone.
Wait, give me a talk.
Yeah. So once this shift in the political climate occurs, there's definitely going to be a lot more change happening, or a lot more advocates who are going to bring up issues that we want to discuss and change. So now is a better time as any to vote, so you can show your support for things you want to be improved or touched upon the next few years. So vote.
Yeah, this is really important because depending on which party is, I guess, has the majority in either house, that's how our legislation is going to be made.
Yeah.
Because they're in charge of making the laws, so if their votes go towards something that you want to support, then you need to make sure you vote for those
Yeah.
people.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want change, vote. And I just looked it up. It is 23 for the House, because currently 24 seats separate the 2 parties in the House. So they need 20. Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
And really, we're the essential body who's going to be determining who makes it, who doesn't. And I mean, the government really functions and continues to flow because of what we argue for and what we find is more important among other policies. So the fact that we're bringing it up and wanting to have that improved is going to make a big difference.
Yes. Cool.
Now you're probably like, wait, but how do I vote? Like, where do I go? Like, how do I know what I'm voting for? So like, where should we go? You want to explain that?
Oh yeah, I'll explain that. So obviously, there are so many places where you can vote. I mean, probably like in your city already, there's going to be a polling place close to you where you can walk in with papers in hand, ready to go. So we live in California, so we already know where we're going to go closest to our homes, and every state will have that. So if you go to vote411.org, you will find information and resources to find out the nearest polling place next to you, in your city, in your state. Yeah, so it's a great opportunity and a great resource just to know where you can go to vote and send your ballot in.
Another thing is that website has your information based on your location, because we only really know California issues, because that's where we live. So if you live somewhere else, be sure to check out, once again, vote411.org, and you can get all your information based off your location.
It will tell you everything.
Okay. Cool. That says pools. Okay. Okay, cool. So there are some things you should remember to bring if it's not obvious enough. So you should bring your ID. You must know your address and your birthday, especially for new voters or students. Student voters. You know, if you just turned 18, exciting for you. But they will be requiring you to put down more of your personal information, like your ID, address, or birthday. So make sure to have those. So have all your vote by ballot papers, just have that ready and in an envelope if you received one or if you've mailed it in. Great. It's just a better way to go through the line really quickly. And you should especially do your research before you start voting, because it really makes time fly by. I mean, there's so many propositions and people you want to be already, I guess,
knowledgeable.
Yeah, for sure. So you can just already have like your votes in mind, and you already know what you're going to decide on. So once you get there, you can just click, 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 boom, and then just leave.
Side note, on the vote by ballot or vote by mail ballots, you need to make sure, if you got one, that's only if you like requested to vote by mail. But if you didn't and then you just come to the poll and vote. But if you got one and you actually want to go to a physical poll and vote, you have to make sure to bring all of those papers, or you're going to have to vote provisionally. And I mean, your vote still counts, but it's like you want to be official.
Yeah.
And polls will open at 7 a.m. So anyone that doesn't go to school really early, you know, get there at 7. But they also close at 8 p.m. So if you can't get there right away, then make sure to go vote before 8 p.m.
Yeah.
As long as you're in line before 8 p.m. or by 8 p.m., they will make you vote. Like, they will let you vote.
And it's really cool because once we've determined who's gonna, you know, get the cut or whatever, you can still watch us break down and count the votes. You can stay as long as you like. But yeah, so it's just a cool way to see the behind the scenes of what it's like at a polling station. Yeah.
Wait, Claudia, I can't hear you. Can you, like, I think I need some help. I can't hear anything. What do I do if I go to vote, but I can't, like...
Oh, okay. I was
You know?
like, what are you talking about? Okay, yeah, so really, there is no excuse to not be voting, because if you have a disability, they have a disabilities booth just for you, so you can actually sort of get out of the line faster and just go to the booth. It'll be a little shorter so it can make way for wheelchairs. So you can still, you know, go in if you're, again, disabled. And yeah, so we just have resources for really anybody.
So we also have translators for some places.
Right, right. So depending on your area and what most people do speak in terms of different languages, we are required by federal law to have all different translations for the ballot papers and things that you might want to understand if not proficient in English. All of that will be on the official table. You know, we're required by law to have it there. So you'll be able to have a translator, you know, your own papers just to walk you through the whole process so you won't get lost.
Okay, so as we mentioned, we are from California, so most of the stuff that we know, most of the information we know is going to be regarding California, so we're going to segue into talking just about some things that are specific to the California midterms.
But make sure to check out, if you're not a California resident, all of your information, because there's lots of things.
Again, on what website? Vote411.org. Great.
All right, so California, we do have a governor race, I believe.
We do.
Am I correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
And for our senator, and we have a couple of people up for the House of Representatives. But we will not get into that because there's so many different candidates. So we're going to
Yeah.
focus on something that's a little bit
Well,
easier.
Yeah. There's only 2 people up for governor, but
Oh well.
But also,
like,
right now, I mean,
check them out.
Yeah, their policies, what they're arguing for, if not their parties. You know?
And if you like forget any of this stuff, there'll be recaps like on your
papers.
Ballots.
Yeah, there's going to be a quick summary of what they're arguing for and what they hope to make a change in if they are to be elected. So really, like, you'll still be up to date no matter what.
Wait, should we pause for 2 seconds to make sure this is recording?
That would be good. I've already finished a burger and a half.
Legit, I ate like half of my burger. Oh my god, you did eat a burger.
we're good.
Dylan?
We're good.
Oh, wait, let me just pour this ketchup.
Oh, okay.
Dude.
Wow, this is really short.
We're gonna like half this at half hour or something. Sorry, I'm just trying to.
Excuse me, Claudia.
Okay, while they figure themselves out, I'm gonna start talking about the 11 propositions that we have going for our state.
11, that's a lot.
We have 11. We actually were supposed to have 12, but Prop 9 was taken off because of a Supreme Court order. So I thought that was kind of like,
an idiotic prop,
yeah.
in my personal opinion.
So thankfully it's not up for debate anymore.
Anyway, so we're gonna go through. So the first prop talks about authorizing bonds for housing assistance, because you know how California, like if you drive around even just LA, there's so many like homeless people, and it's like housing has become such a big thing for California because there's so many people living here. Like we need to like pretty much deal with that
Right.
problem.
And when we say homeless, I mean, it's not just people who are homeless, there's also the mentally ill, veterans who've been evicted or just like they don't have the resources. I say resources a lot, but veterans who just aren't in homes that they deserve to be in for serving for our country. So really we, you know,
Yeah.
Prop one.
But that's Prop 1, where it's like making sure that there's specified housing assistance programs for those kind of people. So what would happen is the government would authorize bonds to the public, and then we'd buy those bonds, and that would help fund those programs. Prop 2 is very similar, where they're also authorizing bonds to fund existing housing programs, but they're specifically for individuals with mental illnesses. So there's going to be one for specific housing assistance just for people who are homeless, and then Prop 2 focuses on those who are mentally ill. So housing for mentally ill.
I don't remember this one very well.
Oh, okay.
Well, Prop 3, it authorizes bonds for fund projects of water supply and quality watershed fish, wildlife, water conveyance, and groundwater sustainability and storage. You want to expand on that, Allison?
It's pretty much like for us people, environmentalists, people who care about the environment. It's just, we all know California is in a drought. We all know California doesn't have a lot of water, and we need to like, maintain it, make sure it's clean, make sure it's healthy.
That's the biggest part, yeah.
Hydration is key.
Yeah, man.
We grab Janice.
We have our very own special guest. Julia, would you like to introduce?
The hydration station.
She's very special.
Anyways, hi Janice.
Okay,
It's really nice having you here.
Anyway, but like Prop 3 would pretty much authorize bonds so that we like buy the bonds from the government and then make sure that our water supply is nice and clean and that we're taking care of our environment because you know that's important. We live here and we drink this stuff. Right. So yeah.
Yeah.
You want to take Prop 4?
I'll take that part. What is this one? Oh.
Oh, this is the big one.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. So, Prop 4 is about authorizing bonds to fund construction at hospitals, providing children's health care. So,
You're already on number 2. Sorry.
yeah, no, she's a fast eater. Look at that. I'm still on half of
I
my
just
burger.
finished my first burger.
Do you know what's really depressing? I meant to buy 2 burgers, but I only have 1, and that kind of hurts my heart, but it's whatever.
I got protein style, and that was really sad.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's okay. We love a healthy sister. Okay. Anyways, so yes, children's health care. So, you know, the rate of how many kids in the United States, like not just California, who are getting, leukemia, other diseases that are pain inflicting, like they get at such a young age and they don't need that. It's increasing at such an alarming rate and speed, and it's expensive, and they are the future. They are us. Like any one of us could get sick, and we might not have the things we need, like enough funds, enough buildings and hospitals to aid ourselves and support each other. So I really think, this one is a really important one, just because it means ensuring the security and the health of our future generations to vote.
No, but like Prop 4 is really important because it would authorize bonds for people to buy and help, I guess, raise the standard of the children's hospitals that are in California, which is definitely important because, health is important. Be healthy.
Okay. Oh, wait. Oh, I remember this one. Okay. Oh my.
Is this yours? Oh, cool.
No. Okay. This one's kind of hard to understand. So,
Take us through.
I believe this is it. For older, yes. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so Prop 5 changes the requirements for certain property owners to transfer their property.
Do you want me to open that first? I'm gonna open that first and then you can do it again. I'm so sorry. That's my laundry.
Oh, the laundry?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need clothes.
No, Prop 4 would make sure that water is clean after. Just saying. No, I lied. That's Prop 3. That's Prop 3. Prop 4 is hospitals, children's hospitals.
These fries are cold now.
No.
I still eat them all. Okay, so I'm gonna get back.
Prop 5, go.
I'm back.
So, Prop 5 changes the requirements for certain property owners to transfer their property tax base to a different property. So pretty much, okay, so this one is a little bit confusing because it's only for like elder people, like over the age of 55, I believe. And so pretty much it's when they buy a house that's more expensive, or if for some reason their house gets damaged and they buy a property that's more expensive than their current one, the property tax from their old house moves over to the new one. So a big thing though with this, as like great as it sounds, is for all of these props is you need to be aware of where the money is coming from. So I know specifically for this prop, this would take money out of public schools in order for this to kind of happen. It would also take money out of things like police, fire departments, healthcare, something else that I can't remember. So you're just like, for all of these props, be aware of kind of the other side of things and where, like especially if it has to do with taxes, where that money is coming from. So even though it's like great that like your taxes are going to be less, that money has to come from somewhere. So
it's also only for a specific age group. So for people who are our age, or even young adults like our parents, it wouldn't really apply to them.
It only applies to the elderly, and I believe also people with disabilities.
Moving on to Prop 6. This is one that like I've seen so many commercials about. Like this is the one that everyone talks
Prop
about.
6?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw it for I think Prop 8.
Oh, well, Prop 6 I've seen a lot about, and it's just eliminating like certain road projects or road repair projects like on our freeways and whatnot throughout California, and like I guess channeling that money elsewhere. So instead of repairing the roads and like repairing the freeways and like working on our infrastructure, it would.
Sorry.
Yeah, I see it.
Is it over there?
I'll kill it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on, Allison.
Yeah, but like instead of doing that, the money would be channeled elsewhere. I don't exactly remember.
I believe that it's to reduce gas prices. So it's like this one, kind of on the fence about. It's kind of hard because it's like the money is not going towards our roads, but if you've ever been in California, if you live in California, you know that gas is extremely expensive. So you kind of have to really consider both. So
Sorry, the camera died.
Yes.
First of all.
We're out of food, so we got ice cream.
We finished our food because, Okay. So, pretty much Prop 6, you have to figure out, how you feel about it because it will stop the repair of like roads and stuff and like less kind of like projects on it, but it will reduce gas prices. So moving on to the next one.
So safer roads or lower gas?
Okay, daylight savings. Take it away, Claudia. Talk fast.
Prop 7. Okay, so it will conform California daylight saving time period to the federal law. So basically, in California, we have to set our clocks 1 hour earlier or forward for daylight savings. So there is a small percentage of people, but still substantial, of people who get heart attacks, strokes, sort of, depression, and some deaths have happened because of having to reset their clocks. So, this is just
the body sleeping schedule.
Yeah. So if you want to get a few more hours into your sleep, this is just only saying that the government will have the power to change daylight saving time period, so you don't have to reset your clocks at all, like Arizona and some other states. But it's not necessarily saying that it'll happen effective immediately.
Yeah. I'm really sad. We did some cute moments.
I know we did.
Oh, well, okay, moving on. Prop 8 is going to regulate the amount of outpatient kidney dialysis clinics charge for dialysis treatment. So pretty much what's going to happen is kidney dialysis treatment will cost less. However, more clinics will kind of be shut down or not in use because, again, that money has to come from somewhere. So it really just, again, depends on where you stand and
So less clinics, but lower costs.
Yes. And
Nice and simplified. Prop 9 was removed by the Supreme Court. That was the dividing California into 3 separate states.
Don't know why that was a thing, but
No.
it's
Also,
not.
side note, because it deleted, but I finished 3 burgers and now I'm eating ice cream. So. Prop 10. What Prop 10 does is it allows local governments to decide the rent tax depending on their area. So you know how in California it's a really expensive state to live in. Like the property tax is crazy compared to the national average.
Oh yeah, it's like twice the national average for some hefty prices, and that's ridiculous.
But not all of California is like that. Some areas are cheaper to live in or not as well off. And so what Prop 10 does is it allows local governments to decide what their rent tax would be for their area. So that it would kind of even out to make it so that it's not everything is the same, but depending on where you go, the price would be different. Prop 11?
Okay. Prop 11 requires private sector emergency ambulance employers to remain on call during work breaks, and it eliminates certain employer liabilities. So what this is going to do is pretty much when a ambulance worker or emergency responder is on break during work, they'll still be on call in case an emergency happens, so that they can still provide care as fast as
respond to the
possible.
emergency.
Yeah, as fast as
So
possible.
that means expected results are, less accidents, less deaths, more fortunate lives being saved, but also because if they are on call longer, they will still get paid for those hours, but they will also get more counseling, mental services, because this sort of
This is a
occupation,
taxing job.
it
Yeah.
really is, and you're always responding to grueling situations that can traumatize you. So they will have those counseling services available when they are on break, but still on call. So yeah.
And last one.
Yes.
Prop 12 for your animal rights activists
Activists.
and animal lovers out there.
Okay, so Prop 12 establishes new standards for confinement of specified farm animals, which will ban the sales of non-compliant products. What that means, simplified, is specifically in California chickens and
Chickens and pigs.
We all sort of know that they're caged in extremely small spaces, and they're always next to each other, and they don't have the room to breathe and just run
We're
around.
not in the best living standard.
Yeah, they're really not. So basically what happened is they give them a larger space to at least run around, and if certain farms or companies are to give animal products, they have to be
compliant to those standards.
So yeah, so basically there will be checks obviously to make sure that they do comply to those more spaces for animals changes, and if they don't, then it's illegal.
Okay.
We've finished all 12 props. We've gone through everything.
All 11 props. Twice.
Oh, sorry. 11 props because 9 is not a prop anymore. That's
Yes.
being considered.
So,
yeah.
So what can you take away from all of this?
vote.
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 Because it's important. Because you will decide all these different things because everything's done by the popular vote.
Yeah, we can't stress it enough, guys. Like,
Your voice matters.
really does. And you're going to be living in this reality, you know. You're gonna
Also, say you're not 18 and you can't vote yet, like me and Claudia. You could also still partake in election day by working as a student poll worker.
So you see the behind the scenes and you get to make some bank. I mean, like, that's up to what, $240? So, up top, my friend. Yeah, so, and there's even like so many elderly people who are still volunteering their time to do this and getting paid, so they're making bank too. And of course, they get to vote. But our friend Julie here is not 17. No. She is 18 and legal to vote. So what are you going to be doing this Tuesday?
I'm gonna vote.
Excuse me, sorry, can you say that one more time? I'm gonna vote. ASMR. Please vote.
Vote.
It's really important.
It is. It's so important.
And where can you get this information if you have no idea where it is?
Oh, was that vote411.org?
I think it was vote411.org.
Are you sure it was vote411.org?
I think it was.
We think so.
Yeah.
We did our research, you know what I mean? So yeah.
Also, go through your packets if you are a voter. Spend some time, research. Because I don't know if, right? Is the English. I'm so tired. Pretty much figure out where you stand on certain issues and
Maybe mark down all of the things you're ready to make a decision on so you can just not be in line for so long and just
get in,
there.
get out.
Get in, get out, carry on with your day. Looking forward to a better tomorrow. I don't know why I'm being super sappy, but yes, just vote. Vote,
Do
vote,
it.
vote.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. That's the end.
So, vote. We love you. Thanks for tuning in.
Like and
to
subscribe.
What's
Political-
gonna happen in the next episode?
Oh, we're gonna talk about what it means to be a Democrat and what it means to be a Republican.
Which is
So,
important.
yeah, know
Yes.
the difference and yeah, stuff like that.
So watch out for that next video.
Coming to you soon.
Alright, thanks guys. Bye.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful angel. Love your imperfections, every anger.